Hi, welcome back. I'm Alaina. Have you ever wondered why scaling a business is hard? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why scaling your business has been so hard up until now and what to do about it so you can scale with ease. So stay tuned. First, we're going to uncover the exact mindset that is keeping you from scaling your business with ease. Next, I'm going to share with you the one reason that has you looking in the wrong direction for the answers to scale to the next level. Then we're going to go over exactly what to do to shift your mindset about failures, because I am sure you haven't been taught this about failures and mistakes up until now. And by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to be able to tap into your higher self to know what to do to grow and scale. So let's dive right in. So scaling isn't really meant to be hard. And so in one of my last videos, I actually talked about how we were encoded with a purpose and the way to fulfill it to be successful, right? Because all of nature is encoded with success built right in it. Like when you look at an acorn is not only just an oak tree, the potentiality of an oak tree, it's the potentiality of an entire forest. And we were encoded in the same way, right? So with whatever our purpose was that is unique to us that we were given, the way to fulfill it is not only meant to be fun, it's not only meant to be fulfilling, but it's also meant to be really successful. However, most people have been raised with a middle-class mindset. So what do I mean by that anyway? So a middle-class mindset, like when we were raised, if you've been, let's say, lower income, lower middle-class income, even middle class, had professional parents, right? So maybe doctors or lawyers, they're trading time for money. Most of the people on this planet right now are trading time for money. And we've all been raised with this idea, you're going to grow up and get a really good job, and maybe this isn't so true anymore, but I know it was true of my parents' generation, that you're going to grow up and get a good job and you'll be in that job for the rest of your life, and this creates a level of safety for you so that you'll be able to put away money and be able to retire at a certain age. This is a middle-class mindset. It's all geared, as well as school, all geared to creating safety. And there's a belief that stable jobs, stable income creates safety. But all of that could disappear tomorrow from your life. And would you be safe then? So what really is safety? Safety is knowing that you have the capacity, no matter what happens in your life, to make the best of it, to make it work for you. So when I first started coaching, it was so hard for me to find my purpose in life. I'd been a lawyer for 18 years, a very successful lawyer in the music industry, but I realized I had put my ladder against the wrong wall. I put my ladder against the wall my parents wanted for me, because they wanted me, growing up in a lower middle class income family, they wanted me to do better than they did. And so they pushed me to be a lawyer so that I would have a level of success that they never had, not realizing that had they just cultivated my natural gifts and talents, that I would have been able to be successful in whatever I've done. And so when I became a purpose coach, when I first started coaching, because I really wanted to help other people find their purpose, or if they knew what their purpose was, to be able to step into it fully as well. And what I discovered as a purpose coach is that we haven't been trained to be able to do that. The safety that I was just talking about is so many people are so fearful of taking that next step into entrepreneurship and expanding their purpose, or if you're already an entrepreneur, taking it to the next level, because your subconscious mind is wanting to hold you back into that safety zone. It knows, even if you don't like what's going on in your life right now, it knows it has a pattern to deal with it and knows you're going to survive it. But if you move out into a different arena, if you take chances and risks that you haven't taken before, which is what next level scaling of entrepreneurship requires, it does not know how you're going to survive it, or even if you're going to survive it. Of course you are, but it doesn't know that. So it wants to hold you back and keep you in those safe patterns that pretty much suck. And so because of that, it's making you work so much harder in your business, because every single time you start to take some action or move out of your comfort zone, which is what's required for scaling, it will just suck you right back into exactly where you are. And so then you create these self-sabotage patterns as a result. Now, one of the things we've also been raised with when you think about your parents and teachers and even religious institutions is that other people know better than we do, right? So when you're little, your parents are always telling you what to do, and they're always telling you that they know better. Your teachers are always telling you what to do and always telling you that they know better. And so we create a culture of believing that everybody else other than us is the expert outside of us. And so we stop learning to trust ourselves. Now, truthfully, we are the only person that knows what's really good for us. But most people are following that from their ego mind rather than from their superconscious mind, from their higher self. Because this infinite part of you that you have, this higher self part of you, already knows exactly what you need to do to get you from point A to point B in your business with the most ease and grace, with no resistance at all. And the thing that stops us from listening to that intuitive guidance, from listening to those, still small voices that we get inside, is the subconscious blocks and limiting beliefs that we have and the self-sabotage patterns that we've created because risk-taking is unsafe. Moving out of our comfort zone is unsafe, but it's actually the safest thing that you can do, because think about the life you're living now. Is that really working for you? Because if it was, you wouldn't be looking to scale your business, right? If it was working for you exactly as it is now, you wouldn't be looking to scale your business. So I will be talking a lot about how to scale your business with ease. So make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on this content. And if you like this video, please give it a like. One of the other things that we experience as children is that mistakes and failures are not okay. Like, I know for me growing up, I got into a lot of trouble when I made mistakes. I got hit, I got punished, I got grounded. And this is what so many people experience when they're young. And it's so funny. My mom goes, "Oh, no, I told you that mistakes were okay." And I'm like, yeah, but the behavior said something else to me. So what are children experiencing as a result of that behavior? Maybe you knocked a glass of milk over and it broke on the floor, and then your mom freaked out about it and yelled at you for being, either stupid or clumsy or whatever it is. And so now you've picked up that belief that you're stupid. Whatever it was for you that happened, I know that we are not taught as a society as a whole, and it doesn't matter what country you come from, that mistakes and failures are part of the learning process. We are here to learn and grow. The universe is ever expanding. It is always seeking more life. And how do you create more life in your business? How do you scale in your business? You do that by putting yourself out there and taking action. Now, really, what is a mistake? A mistake is the idea of, I had an expectation that if I was going to take this action, this is the result that I was going to get. I either took the action or I resisted and didn't take the action, and this is the result I got, but it wasn't the result I wanted. And in that process, what you experience is that there was a mistake, a failure, and then you make it mean that you failed, so that you're a failure. It's not just that, the action that you took failed, but there is no such thing as failure or mistakes. There's just learning. It's just data, information, and feedback that helps you understand what you need to do next to iterate the process. Or maybe this isn't even the right path, and so it's a redirection towards the right path that you take, but it's definitely not personal. And if you allow it to, will help you learn and grow. And this is a necessary ingredient to scaling your business, because you're going to end up taking a lot of action. Like, I fail far more than I am successful, right? But it's that the successes are far greater than the failures, and I've stopped letting them take me out. And because I've stopped letting them take me out, they just propel me further, faster, and that's possible for you too. So my client Brandy and I were just talking about this yesterday, about how she had been raised essentially to be a perfectionist. It wasn't okay for her to fail at all in her life. And so she constantly holds herself to this level of standard that she can never actually live up to. And what she realized in our session yesterday was that she realized that she's either resistant to taking the action because she's afraid of failing, or she's resistant to taking the action because it isn't actually in her highest good to take that particular action. There's another action that's in her highest good to take. And by learning to tap into her intuition and her higher self, she's able to get clarity on the exact right action she needs to take, and also clarity on what the truth is about the results she's getting. So she stops making it about herself, that she's a failure, and starts to ditch the shame and guilt cycle that she's created. So she's supposed to take an action. She doesn't take the action. She feels guilty for it. She doesn't get the result. She feels shame for it. Then it leads to her either not taking another action, or it leads to her taking an action and still not getting the same result. And she's creating the shame and guilt cycle over and over again. And she finally gets to ditch that cycle and step into a level of personal empowerment to know, I know what I need to do, and I know what's stopping me from doing it and allowing me to then move forward to scale my business with ease. And this is what all my clients experience when they start doing this work, is this level of understanding they are not a failure. They're not even failing in their business. All that's happening is they're not getting the result that they expected to get in the time they expected it. And when we give ourselves a lot of grace and understanding about the learning, we can absolutely transform our business and then start taking the risks and start achieving the results that we want effortlessly. So do you actually need to work hard to be successful? Well, check out my next video, because I'm going to do some big reveals on this. Thanks, I'm Alaina, and I'll see you in the next video.